15, so I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. So, good evening, my friends. A very good evening from my part of the world. And it may be good morning for you, or good afternoon, or good day if you're in Australia and it's daytime for you. It doesn't matter when you're listening. So, tonight, introducing myself. My name is Janis. I'm a John Maxwell certified as speaker, trainer, and a coach. And I am conducting these interviews with various people who are participating in various growth environments, groups, accountability groups, just to ask them to share their experiences. And tonight with me I have Sandra, and we have been on the same group for almost a year already. So, good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, Janis.
And I obviously first thing to ask. So, could you let us know what do you do for a living? What's your occupation, to say it?
Okay, so my background is in education, so I'm a teacher, trained teacher by profession, but I'm also a trainer, a speaker, and a coach as well.
Very good. So, as you are a teacher, so you teach, what do you teach? You teach children?
I teach children, primary age children, from the age of 9 up to 11. And teaching them a range of subjects within the primary sector. And I also work with adults in terms of public speaking training and also do coaching as well.
Okay, cool, very good. So you've been part of the group. We have been together as a part of the growth group. So I have been a host of this group, but obviously I treat the three of us in the group, I treat all of us on the same level. So I just want to ask you a question. How has been your experience? We're almost a year there. So how has been your experience? And how has been your experience? First things.
Yeah, first of all, I can't believe a year has almost gone by with the accountability group. But my personal experience of accountability groups is that it's been a fantastic experience. Fantastic in the sense that you can be trying to build a business yourself, and you can be trying to do something by yourself. But when you do it with a group, whether it's a small group or a large group, you're able to talk through your aspirations, you're able to talk through your challenges that you may be facing. And also, because of that, through talking it through with other people who sometimes are in the same sector or line of work as you gain a lot more clarity in terms of where to or how to proceed from there. The accountability group is great as well because you've got people holding you responsible for the targets and the goals that you have set for yourself. So it's a group where people are more or less holding your hands as you travel the journey. And so for me, the experience has been fantastic. I would say that there are times when prior to a call, it might have been a week that didn't go according to plan, or it might have been a week where I was stuck with something. And sometimes it's not even about talking it through, it's just listening to other people speaking about what they've discovered, what they've done during the week, how they've dealt with a challenge. It might be a book that's been recommended. And so I find that always, whenever I come off of a call, I feel more inspired, I feel more ready to go, I feel that I have more of a sense of direction. And it's great to know that people are on your side as well. So that's been my experience.
Great. So what you're saying, it actually allows you to literally cherry pick a new ideas. What I'm sensing, what you've said, it allows you actually to I think we meet on a weekly basis for about 30 minutes. Every week you have 30 minutes. You can actually look back to your previous week and think ahead what's going to happen ahead, and actually verify, put yourself in that timeline to see, okay, here I was, this I wanted to do, I didn't work, and this may work, and for this I need help. Am I guessing it correctly?
Absolutely. I've had ideas in terms of posting online. I remember being on the call and being asked, have you got a strategy? Now, I was just putting out posts online. I didn't think, okay, you need, having a topic or a strategy was one of the things that I gained clarity through, and that was just through, one of the people within my group asking me that question. So it was yourself, actually, Janis. I remember saying, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to start posting more. And the question that you asked was, what is your topic, or is there a strategy for posting? And I thought that was quite good, because I didn't think about that. I was just thinking, okay, what am I going to post today around what I was doing, but having a strategy actually helped a lot. So I thought, you gain advice, and sometimes your accountability partners, there's two of us within the group, they may just ask you a question, and that question helps you to then begin to think about something perhaps that you hadn't even thought about before. So in that respect as well, it's, definitely.
Cool. And I mean, how that journey has transformed you personally? So what if you take a look at if you flash back a year from now, you flashback it, well, were you there, and what were your sort of feelings, thoughts when you started your day without the group, and now you've been part of the group? How that experience has transformed you personally?
How is it? I think of one main thing at the moment. I remember speaking about some of the things I wanted to do, and then one of the other accountability partners, he was speaking about what he's been doing with young people, for example. That ignited within me a passion to empower young people as well. And I have a background within education. I don't work I haven't got a contract anymore, because I decided to leave that because I wanted to pursue my own thing. But now and again, I do go into schools and I do supply teaching, which is more agency type things, whilst I'm pursuing my business. And I think at the time I hadn't tied in the educational experience that I had, plus the experience of running workshops, mindset, empowerment, personal development, which is something that I'm quite passionate about. I hadn't married that with children and young people. I was thinking more about going into the corporate world, which I still am going to do, but it was more to do with just the corporate. I think through the journey that I've been on, I now realise that, the children of today are the future, and a lot of them, they don't hear about some of those things that we are exposed to through John Maxwell's, being part of the John Maxwell group. And so how have I changed? It's helped me to gain clarity in terms of what I want to do and what I'm doing with young people as well. So one of the targets for this year is to set up an empowerment school for young people, because I do something that I talk about, something that I do when I go into schools, but I want to have something where children can go, they can hear about mindset, they can hear about having a growth mindset, a fixed mindset, they can hear things that are going to empower them and set them up for the future. So how has my journey been, and how have I changed? I've gained clarity around the things that I want to do. It's helped me to see that more clearly, and also I am part of John Maxwell, but just to delve more into being part of the John Maxwell team and just seeing the wealth of information and the wealth of help, the fact that I can tap into the calls, the mentorship calls, I was encouraged to do that more. I think at the beginning, I wasn't taking advantage of it. And I think throughout the accountability, just through hearing, the people within my group talking about running lunch and learns and doing different things, or being on a call, that ignited in me the desire to tune in more. So I think I went on an empowerment for living. I kind of tapped into that, and that was run by two of the educators within the John Maxwell group, and it's absolutely been fantastic. And that was I'm trying to think, Paul Martinelli and also Roddy as well. So I've tapped and tuned into that. I follow the Think and Grow Rich. So the fact that I tapped in more, I was able to glean a lot from that. I was able to glean a lot from being on the calls, but that was all through the encouragement of the accountability group.
Yeah, so what you're saying is more or less that it created this circle of accountability. I have this one idea, but
Yeah.
because of the other partners on the call, they testified as something about they did,
Yes.
and it was something, and you said, wow, that really, and they also verified various tools you may use from the other perspective, so that triggered with you this transformation. Well, actually, I can also do that as well. Am I right?
Well,
Wow, that is really amazing. And in terms of if you look at the because when you set your goals for the week, and
yeah.
when you review those goals after 1 week, and when you set the new goals, I mean, you have to go through some challenges, and
Yeah.
then how that group has helped you or contributed to your personal growth in terms of, okay, these were the goals. These things I did. These things I didn't. These were the challenges. These part of those challenges I managed to overcome. This I really struggled. So how the group environment contributed to sort of you overcoming and learning from the challenges and amending something. How that has contributed to your sort of a personal.
I think for me, there's been times when I've had really great weeks, and there's been times when I haven't quite reached the goals that I've set, and it's like, oh my goodness, the calls seem to come. The weeks go so quickly, so the calls come around quickly as well. And there's been times when I really didn't feel like being on the call because I just feel like I've not fulfilled what I said I was going to do. But I've kept at it. I've gone on to the calls, and even though I might not have achieved all that I set out to do, just being on the call rather than thinking, oh no, I can't be on there. Being on that call gives me the zest and the zeal to continue. So it might have been a bad week. It might have been a week, and I don't mean bad as in, terrible things happened, but in myself, I didn't feel that I had achieved what I wanted to achieve. And therefore, being on that call again, it's almost like you get that ignition. It's almost like you get that life back to think, well, actually, that was 1 week. Let me continue. So it's almost like a pickup. It's almost like it helps you to pick yourself up and then keep going forward again because it's a new week, and so it's a new opportunity. I think as well, in terms of someone within the group might have an enlightened experience of something that they found, discovered, that they share within that group. And so that is basically how it helps. So every time I phone in, every time I tune in, even just listening in a conversation, someone may have had a win within that week, and that we all celebrate, and it also gives you the zest to think, well, they've had this win. I want to go ahead, and I want to go ahead and have a win also. I want to maybe try a bit of what they've done. One of the things that we spoke about was the value that we gleaned from being part of John Maxwell's team. We spoke about the amount of time that we've invested, the money that we've invested into being part of an amazing group, and invested in ourselves and in our growth and development. And again, it's about the importance of us valuing ourselves and not just saying, I'll offer this for free and I'll offer everything for free, because we've invested so much time. That was something that in one of the discussions within the group, where we talked about the value of what we do and the importance of recognizing that we are adding value to other people's lives, and therefore we should be rewarded for it. That was something that contributed to me being on that call, where it made me, it reaffirmed to me that I have so much to give, and also, my accountability partners have so much to give because we've invested so much in ourselves, and so we're not going to sell ourselves short or cheaply, because we are empowering others and we are touching lives in such a tremendous way that we're adding value, so we deserve to be rewarded for the value that we're adding. So that was something that I gained.
Again, this is the cherry on top of the cake. So this is that you said that it created. So all of us, we created a value for ourselves. As we spoke, as we grew, we realized that we do have a value. It was a collective effort to remind us that there is a value in us that we have created. So, as a final note and to conclude, so what would you say to a person who has never been part of any accountability or growth groups? what would be your sort of a the message, the wish, what you could say to them if one is considering, is it a group experience, or being on a calls, being on a group, is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, is it, would you say please consider it, would you say no, go for it, or would you say, well, kind of verify? So what's your outcome, what's your message for that, for anyone in the world?
Okay, my message is together we achieve more. And
wow, that's amazing.
That is basically it. Together we achieve so much more. There's the idea of the mastermind group that Napoleon Hill talks about. When each mind gets together, there's a fusion of minds that creates another mind, and that mind is that mastermind. And I believe that when all your mind, like when you get into a group, you'll have people who can feed into your dream and your goal where you might not have thought about that. And you'll have people who are there to cheer you up, cheer you along, as well as cheer you up if you're feeling, that you need that. But there's people there to guide you, to help you. And it's holding you accountable for you fulfilling your destiny and your goals. The accountability groups aren't there to hit you over the head and say, no, why haven't you done that? You shouldn't, it's not there for that. It's basically helping you to be the best version of yourself that there can be. So in conclusion, together we achieve more. So if you haven't got an accountability group, or you're not part of an accountability group, then I can highly recommend that you become part of one, because it is a fantastic idea and it's a fantastic opportunity to grow, to learn, and to develop.
Well, thank you, Sandra. That was an amazing note to end with. That's like the best part to end with.
Thank you.
Just to conclude from my side, yes, obviously, this is amazing what you said, the experience, the whole, that collective part, and then you verifying that was this collectiveness that brought us further, and it actually helped us as, overcome challenges, bursted us with new ideas, new sort of ways to go ahead, and actually also reminded us, occasionally allowed us to think. At least, 30. It's not a lot of time, so 30 minutes allowing to think about yourself on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Well, what an amazing note to end. Well, thank you being on this interview. Really appreciate that. Wish you all the success. Fingers crossed for your. I think you said you are coaching in the public speaking area. So fingers.
Yeah, I run workshops within the public speaking realm or area, so I do that, but I also, as part of John Maxwell's group, I'm also running his programs as well, and doing quite a few bits.
Great, thank you very much, Sandra, and
my pleasure. It's been great speaking to you. As always.
Yeah, for all of us that I will tune into the recording of this video, have fun, and as Sandra mentioned, take part of any accountability group. Become a part of even Maxwell team if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.